Okay, so today we're going to do a pump stroke calibration on a yellow pump. We're going to pretend like this is a high pressure system. High pressure pumps, they'll displace about 1/4 of a gallon per stroke. So what's going to happen is there's going to be like a limit switch or a Hall effect sensor. It's kind of at the top of the pump cylinder. Every time that cylinder goes up, what will happen is it'll actually short a wire that goes to pin H in this case. That'll short a wire to ground, and we count the number of times that goes to ground. And each pulse represents one cycle of the pump. So what we need to figure out is how much paint moves with each cycle of the pump. So what I need you to do is I need you to grab a 5-gallon bucket and put 5 gallons of water in there and mark off where the top of that water is, because that's what we're going to be targeting. So figure out where 5 gallons truly is in that bucket, and then mark it on the inside there. Or if there is sometimes there's like a plastic liner around the bucket, you can use that as an indication of where 5 gallons is. You can get set up by raising up your carriage to make clearance for a bucket. You can pull the tip off your gun, or you can bypass the gun with the manifold. There's multiple tricks and ways to do it. You can use a shield. In this instance, I'm just going to suggest that you pull the tip off your gun. You can operate at a lower pressure. Be careful not to go too low. If you go too low, material is going to flow just using your low pressure side. You might even cut down pressure on your low pressure pump. But let's just say if you normally operate at 800 to 900 psi, go ahead and bump that down to 450, 500 psi, just to help with some overspray. So get that bucket set up under your desired paint gun, and we'll use gun 2. I'm going to turn gun 2 off here on the screen. What we're going to do is we're going to go into the menu, we're going to go over to setup, down one level and go to calibrations. This has a guided calibration under pumps, so this will also tell you what you need to do. The first screen, we're going to select which pump we're calibrating. Now, and on this setup, we've only got 2 pumps. We've got a yellow pump and a white pump. You might have multiple pumps per color. We've had up to like 6, 7 pumps on a truck. But in this example, we'll just pretend like there's 2 pumps for simplicity, and we're only going to do the yellow pump, which is showing up as pump number 1. We're going to go start calibration. This is going to give you a quick overview of what needs to be done. We're going to need to fill at least a 5-gallon bucket. In this pretend example, we're going to fill a 5-gallon bucket. That's high pressure, because once again we're displacing about 1/4 of a gallon per stroke on high pressure. So a 5-gallon bucket means about 20 strokes, which means that we're getting within about a 5% accuracy. Now, if you're using a diaphragm pump, those are usually more like a gallon per stroke. So for the same amount of resolution, you're going to need to probably pump about 20 gallons. But we'll settle for 5 gallons. I'll show you a trick after this video on what to do for some higher resolution. Okay, so we've got our bucket set up underneath our gun. We're going to do left gun number 2 is where we got it set up at. Now I'm going to choose begin calibrating. Now nothing's going to happen now until I either hit the middle button or the right button to start painting. I don't have to turn on a gun. So just remember, you don't actually have to turn on the gun. You already selected which gun it'll be using, and it's going to do that itself. So let's go ahead and start filling that bucket up. Now it's going to be watching for pump strokes on this pin H, and as you can see on your screen, I'm just faking those counts. Notice how it says old paint volume? That's using the existing calibration in the system. Now if this isn't moving at all, this might mean that something's not right. We're not actually seeing those strokes, or it could mean that your old calibration value is either 0 or way too low to even register. Alright, so while we're watching this bucket, it's getting really close to our line. Almost to our line. Okay, so at our line, I'm going to hit stop paint real quick. There, the gun will cease. Notice how using the old calibration it thinks we did 5.2 gallons, but we just filled this bucket. We know that's not right. It actually did 5 gallons. So we're going to go to finish. Now it's going to ask us, okay, how much did you actually put in the bucket? And in this case, we know it was 5 gallons, so we'll put 5 gallons for the true paint volume. I'm going to save the calibration. That's all you got to do. It's going to do all the math in the back end for us, so we don't even have to worry about that. So that is how you calibrate the pump. Please let us know if you have any questions.